Ladies and gentlemen, we've got about 22 hours before landfall as Category 2 Hurricane Ida barrels down towards Louisiana. And I've got some bad news for the people in New Orleans. Jack Sillen reporting that Ida is holding steady to the right of almost all forecast guidance. Even our mentally adjusted guidance from earlier today, this seems to be due to changes in how Hurricane Nora is influencing an upper-level low southeast of Texas. And so this means we'll probably bring it closer to New Orleans. And there is quite a lot happening today. You've got super-duper dangerous Hurricane Ida, which will probably be about a Category 4 at landfall with over 140-mile-per-hour wind speeds projected at landfall. And then you've got Hurricane Nora, who's about to make landfall around Mexico and then push all of that moisture up into the southwest. And then you've got major severe weather happening up west of the Great Lakes and then pushing east. And on top of that, you've had the sun waking up. We now have 4 sunspots on the sun. We got hit by a geomagnetic storm earlier, and then they're talking about a major flare warning from sunspot AR2860, who popped off that big 4.7 M-class flare, which is just under an X-class flare. And so it feels like we definitely live in the most interesting times. Prayers and well wishes are up for the people in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi who will be affected by this, what could be catastrophic flooding, storm surge, and wind damage. Up to 10 to 15 feet of storm surge is projected in this area, and then you'll get anywhere from 6 to 9 feet. 4 to 7 feet is deep into the ocean springs. It's going to be quite an event. Some areas are projected to get up to 20 inches of rainfall on top of all that, and then that's a pretty giant swath as the hurricane will curve out to the east. And like I said, you got a lot of action up in the Dakotas or past them, the Minnesotas. And I usually stay up on the night shift, graveyard shift during hurricanes, and so I was awoken this afternoon by this thunder, although I actually like being woke by thunder. But you can see that, this is a monster storm. The eye is popping out now. And then it is pushing out a lot of outflow bands, which are causing rain from Florida all the way to Texas. Look at that thing. Yuck. It's all beautiful and extremely, incredibly dangerous. Look at all that lightning, man. Yeah, this is one hell of a storm, bro. If you're in the Louisiana, I would do your best, Lieutenant Dan. Dr. Levy Cowan, you've added accumulated precipitation to an HWRF, large domain plots. Here's forecast swath for Ida. As usual with rain forecast, details are hard to get right, but we know lots of water will fall along the east of the storm track. Flooding are concern even well inland. And so you'll notice with like northeast non-tropical storms, the worst part of the flooding comes to the west side. But with tropical storms, the worst part of the flooding is on the east side of the eye of the hurricane. And as the governor pointed out, the storm will probably start hitting, because it's going to be a big storm, several hours before the eye wall even crosses over land. And so we are definitely in for a crazy Sunday that will hopefully be filled with prayer and good luck. And also prayers up for Mexico. They've had their unfair share of problems as well. And it looks like that is going to cause some major flooding as well. This is definitely double trouble, man. And a reminder, we're looking out for more severe weather up in here as the severe weather rips across and to the west of the Great Lakes. We are still watching like pretty much every wobble and move Ida makes, because it still seems to continue to trend to the east. And I think New Orleans is the largest populated city in Louisiana. And as Sam Carlin says, a seriously worrying sign ahead of Ida, the Waffle House in Morgan City is closed until the storm passes. And Waffle House usually stays open and has a limited menu for first responders. So if they're closing, that means it is going to be a very serious situation. And it's still projected to make landfall as a strong Category 3 or a Category 4 hurricane. The National Weather Service has put up an Ida button if you want to go and hit that to refresh and find out the latest information as the night progresses. Tomer Berg letting us know Hurricane Ida is forecast to be in its most favorable environment for rapid intensification tonight, with low shear and abundant ocean heat content. Northwesterly shear is expected to increase tomorrow, which may help cap off deepening, but shift the worst impacts east of the track. So yes, several people are pointing out that Ida is tracking to the east of most model guidance, and so New Orleans, Alabama, Mississippi, you guys will probably see more stout impacts than predicted originally. And, I had put out a warning for the 27th and then for the Eris thingy, and then we do 5-day watch after the Eris Pluto conjunction. And so we have one more of those left. And so we will be looking for another major hurricane to strike the USA around October 8th through about the 14th. Just letting you know ahead of time, because that is what I do. The auroras from the geomagnetic storm last night was a little underwhelming. So I guess it's just bad news across the board. It's not funny. I should stop giggling. But it did produce some auroras just after midnight up here. I don't know. They look impressive to me, but I've never seen an aurora in person, so I'll take what I can get. And I'm a pretty simple man. It's easy to satisfy me. Expect a surge in gasoline prices as Ida knocks out a bunch of oil rigs and then just your usual price gouging in front of a hurricane that goes on. Yeah, the ocean heat content is just so dang hot over the rest of the path for where Ida is going. You still got tons of fires, and it's super smoky out on the west coast of the United States. And you've even got a new fire. The roadside fire near the bottom of the Cajon Pass is off and running with immediate life hazard and threat to property, even to critical infrastructure, as both an interstate and critical railroad lines run through the pass. And this will go big for a while. Someone asked Sheba Turk about traffic leaving New Orleans, and it's pretty rough go, apparently. Yeah, all the reports I've seen say evacuation traffic is moving at almost a standstill. I think that's I-20, and that's pretty much like the only main highway in and out of Louisiana at the south part. I've driven on it before, and it leaves a lot to be desired in the modern age. But let's hope everybody gets out in time and drives cool. All right, so everybody buckle up for multiple impacts. We're talking Nora and Ida. And let's all try and survive through this and say our prayers for the people in harm's way. And let's hope September's a better month, shall we? All right, God bless everyone. Stay cool.